right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wa alaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
Guys are going to have a very excited event today, which is a career as a physician assistant. And my name is Janae. Just a little introduction about myself. I'll be your host for today. And the purpose of this event is to talk about the career as a PA. So why don't we start and kind of give an introduction. Osama bhai, you go ahead. Please introduction about yourself, what school you went to, and a little fun fact about yourself to make it a little interesting.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope everyone is having a good Ramadan. So my name is Mohammed Osama Azam. The reason I put my full name is a lot of people know me by Osama. Other people know me by Azam. So anyhow, I've been a PA for almost 14 years. I graduated from CUNY York, got my bachelor's, then got my master's, a dual degree in healthcare management as well from Stony Brook in 2015. I worked for a private cardiologist, Diki, for 2 years. Then I went to LIJ for 10 years. And now I'm at NYU Winthrop in Mineola. Alhamdulillah, I'm going to pass on to Brother Ali.
Thank you so much for that, Osama White. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Juma Mubarak. My name is Ali Imran. I am a physician assistant. I've been a PA for about 2 years now. My current occupation, I am an internal medicine physician assistant. I work at North Shore University Hospital in Manhasset. And I went to St. John's University for my undergrad and for my PA degree. That's really about it. I'm going to pass it on to Shehzad.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So I'm a current PA student ending my first year at SUNY Downstate University. And I recently graduated at 2019 from Brooklyn College. And yeah, let's get this started.
All right. Thank you so much for that introduction. We're in the month of Ramadan, so just want to kind of ask a very open-ended question on, can you share what it was like being a Muslim going to school for you? Any challenges that you faced during your time, and how did you overcome them?
Brother Shehzad,
okay, so well, for me, like during COVID, like, we were just stayed home mostly. So it was just basically you just gotta like manage your time, praying on time, and then just focusing your study schedule around it. And I feel like once you do that, if you maintain your study schedule around the prayer times, you're able to retain the information and like have a good schedule. And to be honest, I can't really talk about like exactly, because I really haven't had any like in school interaction, because we're all online. So if there's any specific, I would I can answer that.
I've been out of school way long. Ali, you take next.
All right. So I went from PA school from 2017 to 2019. So I was literally graduated right before the pandemic hit. So alhamdulillah, for me, my relationship with Islam and during PA school, it was tenuous. I'm not going to say it was smooth sailing, right? Like everything, you have your highs and lows. But I would definitely make my best effort, have a satchel with me, with my janama, with my prayer mat in there. And I would, try whenever there's a break or whenever, we get off of school, just go and pray. And also we had my school actually had a meditation room where they basically had a bunch of, different relics from different religions. And so every Jummah, what we would do is, it was a group of four of us, and we would do a small khutbah, and then we would basically have a Jamaat, and then, pray Jummah namaz. Alhamdulillah, it was a really big blessing, and I do look back on it, and that's one of the most memorable memories of my PA school career.
Wow. Ali, wow. I'm happy you were able to read Jummah. When I was in PA school, I had no social life, man. Like, yeah, I remember like back in 2005, like 1 year, the first year of PA school, I had no life. I was in my room all the time in books. We had exam like every day, because it's like 4 years of medical school combined in 2 years.
I was in the meditation room with my books. And then...
So I think it's very important that like you gather around with all the Muslim community within your program, so that way you
Right,
guys
right. There's
communicate.
always like an MSA in every school. They have salat, so alhamdulillah, that's good. What else you got, Janae?
All right. Thanks for that, guys, for sharing your experience, right? So we have probably a crowd here that's probably a high school student or even college students, right? So just break it down for us. What is a PA? How is it different from being a doctor or a nurse?
All right, I'll take a lead on that. PA the profession was started after the World War II, the Vietnam War. There was a shortage of physicians, so they trained some people to help the public and the vet that were coming back injured. So Duke University had the first program, PA. I can't remember the year. I think it was 60 or 70. Ali could probably correct me on that. So it grew rapidly. Now it's the #1 ranked profession in the healthcare field. Alhamdulillah. I feel honored. I'm probably one of the PAs in our community for a long time, and I remember when I became a PA in 2008, everybody thought like you're like a medical assistant, and they look down upon you. Like the parents, like I used to work at Dr. Siddiqui's office. They're like, "Oh, the medical assistant." So there was a misconception even now. So a lot of people know what a PA is. It's a respectful job. The money is really good. The schedule is really good. Especially for the young sisters, I would highly recommend. Being a doctor is great. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's a commitment. 4 years of pre-med, then med school, then residency, and then if you want to do a fellowship, you'll probably be 30 something. So you have to balance out your life. If that's something you want, great. You could do it, great. It's also very expensive. PA school, on the other hand, it's not easy to get into. It's very competitive. Shehzad, he's also my nephew. I help him out a lot. He can tell you he wanted to be a physician. I remember he was in Brooklyn College. He wanted to go into medical school, but over the time he talked to a couple of doctors, and they're like, if I were you, I would probably do a PA. So, Ali, anything?
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Osama Bhai. I appreciate it. So, for me personally, as a PA, the reason why I did choose to become a PA is because you collaborate alongside a doctor, surgeons, and other medical professionals, and you're able to examine, diagnose, and treat people. Right? You're considered an advanced practice provider. Right? Obviously, you have to go through rigorous training. You have to go through PA school and things of that sort. But the beauty of the profession is that you're able to work in almost all settings of medicine, such as primary care, emergency medicine, or working in the ER, pediatrics, surgery, etc. And also
from your basement online now. That's a new thing.
Oh yeah,
telemedicine. I work from here
Telemedicine.
sometimes, see patients, which is great.
It's the up and coming thing, but you do require good bedside manner, which is basically the way you talk with your patients, right? When you're seeing them, and also a very good talking skills. So these are two things that are very important in order for you to flourish as a PA.
Right, absolutely. Brother Shehzad, you're in PA school now. Any take?
Yeah, so I initially wanted to be a doctor at first. Like I saw my uncle growing up, and like a physician assistant, the name really throws like people off, like thinking that it's an assistant, it's lower than a doctor and this, that. But in reality, it's a very like highly profession, and it's very respected. And I did my research. So basically, being a PA, it takes 2 years as opposed to like 7 years of like completely going through medical school and becoming a doctor. You could take that into consideration, the time it takes to become a PA, then also the financials. Medical school is ridiculously it takes a lot of loans, like maybe $200,000 to $400,000. $200,000 to $400,000 compared to like 60 to like at least 150K of like PA schools. So that was big. And also the work-life balance of being a PA. You're able to work, like I see my uncle, like he works 3 days full time, and then the other 4 days he could either do like per diem shifts or spend time with the family. So that work-life balance, if like that's what like the viewers are looking for, I would definitely recommend this field for those with balancing of work life.
There's another career which is competitive to us. Is nurse practitioner. They're advanced nurses. They go to school for nursing and then they become nurse practitioner, and they're our competitors. And that's also a great profession. If anyone wants to look into it, do choose a PA, but NP is also out there, just that people know.
So just to kind of throw out there, I will actually go to Osama often for advice, and even like for some little or even some major things, and he will be there, and he'll kind of like diagnose things like a doctor, and they have like a big responsibility, right? So yeah, I just want to also kind of ask you guys, right? Like how long, there is a question that I'm seeing, right? That there's sometimes you can get into PA school right after high school. Like how many years does it take? What's the difference? Could you kind of give us a walkthrough on that?
Ali?
Yeah. So how many years does it take to become a PA? All right. So great question, by the way. So coming out of high school, right, you obviously have to get into college, right? And then in college, there's different colleges inside the state of New York that do offer a track to PA school, such as NYIT, Mercy College, et cetera, right? So you can, or even Hofstra University as well. So you can either, right, choose from high school to get into a PA track program, which basically you would go through your 4 years of your undergraduate degree, right? Get the degree, and then afterwards you would pursue your master's for however long that would be for the
I would
school
say
that
about
you're going to.
5 to 6 years. Like if you're predetermined from high school, you want to be PA. It would probably take you 5 to 6 years with a master's degree. They don't have bachelor's anymore like they did before. So it's only master first. You got to get your bachelor, then master. So if you are determined from high school, inshallah, 5 to 6 years, you'll be a PA and you'll start making 6 figures guaranteed.
Hey, Ali, you know how you said these programs, do you have to apply to CAPSA or no?
For these programs, and I think after you complete your undergraduate, and then you basically like kind of reapply, but they give you a preference because you went through their school. And
I would not get into detail because if anyone's interested, like if they want guidance, they can reach out to Ali, Brother Shazad. I have a PA group, by the way, on Facebook, 37,000 members. It's called Physician Assistant. Very helpful. If you want to be a PA, join the group. You can reach out to me directly through the community, Brother Ali. But you need what do you call that? Patient care hours. There's a lot of things. If there's somebody that is looking into the program, reach out to one of us.
So I feel like even in my own profession, right, it's important to have a mentor early on in your career, right? Even in high school, right? If you are predetermined, right, just having that mentor that you can speak to guide you, right? In our community, we have Shahzad, who's actually a student right now. If you want to get his perspective, you can. You have Ali, who went through the high school route right after that, got into the program, and you have someone who is very experienced. Osama, you can turn to them as well. They will be providing their email address, so you can always reach out to them as well. So with that, I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna ask another question. Especially the biggest factor is pay, right? Everyone wants to know what does an average PA make, and what do they make, and does it change after 5 to 10 years? So one of you guys, if you want to take a lead on that question. Ali? Osama?
Yeah, I'll take a lead. So so basically, right, you have physician assistants, you have nurse practitioners, and then you have MDs and DOs, right? We can all do an amalgamation of things, right? Diagnose, treat, and take care of patients, right? But the bread and butter, right, of becoming a PA is the salary, right? Obviously, working in healthcare, there's always going to be a demand for PAs, right? And the average starting salary is around 110,000 US dollars every year. And so it's a very, very promising career. That's why it's ranked as the number one career inside the U.S. As of 2020. So that's for PAs, 110,000, and then you have people like nurse practitioners who can make around 107 to 108, starting, and then you have all obviously MDs and DOs, and they make roughly around from $200,000 to however much more, depending on what kind of subspecialty you're in the field of medicine.
So Osama, since you're in this field for about 10 to 14 years that you mentioned, right? Does your pay increase year over year or with the experience? And is there some kind of a specialty you can do to even make more than what you make, right?
Yeah, so I remember in 2007, I started off with 60,000, which was like a great pay at that time. And now it's tripled, and this is just one job. Like, me and Ali, we work in the hospital 3 days a week, 312s, and we can do overtime, a side job. I have a side job. I work during pandemic, I used to be seeing patient online. Now we resumed home visit. I work for insurance. So you can pull 200K easily, which a hospitals make, if you hustle a little bit, you have 2 jobs, you could make 200 easily. You can go above it depending on how much you put into it. Subspecialty as a PA, you can work in any field. You can I think the most paying is cardiothoracic surgery. There are PAs who are specialized in that field. Orthopedics is a good field. So you can, as a PA, you can work in any field. You can work for OBGYN, peds, surgery, whatever you like. You can have 2 jobs in 2 different fields, whatever floats your boat. And money is great. The more you hustle, the more you make. It's easy as that.
Do you have to go through extra schooling for this or extra years of residency, anything like that? Or
no, there's a residency fellowship program for PAs, for peds, cardiothoracic, and etc. But you don't have to really. Only if you're passionate. Like, I know some people, they want to be in cardiothoracic where they do bypasses, and they want. This is job guaranteed. Obviously, it's paid, and you'll have a priority when there's a job opening. But you don't need to.
All right. So the next question is for the application process, right? Usually, just to understand, like, what is it like in the schooling end, right? What are some things students who are undergraduate can do to be successful in this field? So maybe Ali, since you went through that process recently, right? Maybe you want to take a lead on that one, and then maybe Shehzad can add to his first year of experience as well.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, Junaid bhai. So me personally, I was in a unique situation where coming out of high school, I was able to get into the St. John's PA program, and basically I was able to, go through my PA schooling career without having to apply through the CASPA, which is the application for getting into PA school. So I think my situation would be outdated now because obviously there's no more bachelor PA programs, right? So I think I'm gonna let Shehzad take the lead and just explain that.
Yeah, so absolutely. So to apply to PA school, you have to apply through CAPSA. It's a portal, it's a website, and it has all of the PA programs listed there. Like, say, like for New York, it's gonna have everything listed there. And you fill out your application on CAPSA. It's a website. And you fill out all the requirements, you put in your transcripts and everything. So that way you don't have to do like 10 different applications. It's only going to be one application. And then, you fill out the steps that are missing. So as going through undergrad school, I would suggest doing a major in like biology because of prerequisites. So there's classes required for PA program, obviously. So you need to have courses within the medical background. So initially I wanted to be, a doctor. So later on, I did my research on the PA prerequisites, and the prerequisites pretty much match up with the medical, but there were some different prerequisites. So just to name a few, so you have to take bio 1 and 2, chemistry 1 and 2, and some schools require organic chemistry 1 and 2, and anatomy and physiology. But I do suggest all the students that are viewing to individually research each program that they want to apply to and just make sure that they meet the prerequisites, because some programs may have a prerequisite that another program does not require. So just I suggest doing the research on that. And also another important factor is the patient care hours. So each program requires like 1,000 hours, and I'll let like you guys talk. Asami.
I'm glad you brought that up. That is actually one of the biggest thing, and a lot of people reach out to me for hours because they have tough time getting hours. Like, how many hours you record, Asin?
1,000 hours.
Yeah. So I brought it up, yeah. But if there's anyone in the community who needs hours, reach out to one of us. Inshallah, we'll help them. I helped a lot of people with the hours getting into the school. That's not a problem. You know, I have friends, physician. They can go and you know, shadow a doctor, and all they need like 510 like 1,000 hours. Every program requires that, so that's a must.
So, question for you guys, right? So I'm a high school senior now, and I'm looking for, you know, if I want to see, hey, what is it like day to day working as a PA, right? And I want to see like a 1-day walkthrough of working side by side, just like seeing what you guys do, right? Is there such a thing available where I can kind of observe you and shadow you guys out there? And how do you go about taking advantage of that opportunity?
All right, I'll take a lead on that. So every hospital has a volunteer department. Okay. So you can call any hospital that's near you. You tell them you want to be PA and you want to volunteer. So they can, bless you. They can set you up with the PA, and then you're officially there. You get a badge. You know, you got to go through the whole process, testing, flu shot, all that. And then you can go and shadow a PA. That's in the hospital setting. In an outpatient, you know, if I work in a clinic, I can just have somebody come and shadow me. But that would be really great. Like during COVID, with the COVID situation, maybe they won't allow in the hospital as of yet, but they can always call the volunteer department.
Okay, so you're saying that if somebody wants to do some kind of a shadowing opportunity in the clinic with you, there is some kind of an option available. You just kind of have to reach out, and you'll be happy to connect them with somebody, right? Or yourself.
Yep. As a PA, we do everything. You know, there's a misconception like PA cannot like do certain things. There's no restrictions. The only thing we cannot do is we cannot open our private practice independently. In a hospital, we have our own list of patients. Like I see like 10 to 15 patients a day, admit a patient. We had COVID patient, like first-handed, we took care of them. You know, we write prescriptions, we diagnose, treat, like Ali said before. So there's no difference, you know, but, you know, we keep our, we have to just run by our attending physician. Every patient has an attending physician. So once you have that relationship, the attending knows how you work, and, you know, they have confidence in you. You know, you just do whatever, patient having pain or something is going on, you go stabilize the patient and let the attending physician know, hey, you know, this patient was having chest pain. I got an EKG troponin set, like, you know, I gave him aspirin, whatever you do. And they're like, fine, you know, that's how you cover yourself. You know, there's a legality issue. So you just, there's documentation. You just document that you spoke with the attending physician.
Okay. So we have a question on Facebook, right? Just so that it's kind of out there so people know about it. I know, Shahzad, you mentioned about all the prerequisites, right? Is there a website to find these prereqs for PA?
Yes, I actually have a website. Should I drop it like in the comment section? Or?
Yes, you can.
I just want to point out, so the website I'm going to put has like the basic requirements, the prerequisites, but I suggest everyone search like on Google, like the program name, and then like the prerequisites for that program, because they might vary by like 1-2 courses. Then you just want to make sure that if you're applying to a program that you meet all the requirements, because if you're missing just one, your application unfortunately gets filtered. So that's very important.
Is there such a thing where the credits that you take in a particular school might not be transferable? Because I know that in my own field there was such a thing. So any tips that you could share in regards to that, Shahzad?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
So is there a course like all the prerequisites that you take, right, and you're trying to apply to PA school? What is there something that you need to kind of be aware of so that just make sure that the PA school will kind of accept those courses, right? Is there such a thing like that? And what are some of the tips you can share?
Okay, so to be honest, the prerequisites, most programs require that the prerequisites are done from a 4-year college, undergrad college, and not like a 2-year college. So
Okay.
that's very important. Some colleges do look into that, but again, it varies by program. So some programs might accept community colleges, and some might not. Some might accept just 4-year colleges.
So I think in this particular case, it's best to reach out to the school that you're applying to and ask them, hey, what are some of the courses that are going to be accepted, right? All right. And I think we have another question. Do PAs need malpractice insurance?
Yeah, so I'll start by answering that question. I'm not sure what happened to Osama, but I hope he gets back.
he's
There
back.
he is.
Sorry,
There's
I
that
touched
beautiful
something
face.
accidentally. No, Ali, jump on. I just wanted to fill in that the question about prerequisites. It's very important. Things have changed. So if you are serious, you should definitely look into the program prerequisite. It would be online. What they want you to have, A&P, organic chemistry. So every program is different. So you should do your own research.
And I just want to add to that, the prerequisites, most schools require that they are done within the past 5 to 10 years. So that's another thing to look out for when you're doing your research. And you guys could obviously hit one of us up if you have any questions.
All right, great. I think, Asen, you're going to share the top 10 New York PA school, something? In the background.
Nice. There it is.
There we
So
go.
Do you guys see something?
yeah, we do.
It's usually covered by the question about malpractice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's usually.
Oh no, we didn't. We were actually. I was.
Oh, we didn't cover that. Let's cover that question for one of
the malpractice.
One of the viewers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's usually covered through umbrella coverage. Every hospital has umbrella coverage, so we don't need our own unless you work for a private firm, a private physician, and they can provide you. If they don't, whatever deal you have, you could buy your own. It's probably like $2,000 or $3,000 a year. It's not a lot.
yeah,
Okay.
and just to echo what Osama Bai said, for me personally, I'm basically covered under the Northwell hospital system. So yeah, same thing with the umbrella coverage. If you are working in a hospital system, in an outpatient setting, if it's not directly linked to a hospital system, then you might have to purchase malpractice insurance separately. But you would just have to look into that if you are a PA, and just work that out with whoever you're working with outpatient.
All right. So it looks like we also have the top 10 PA schools that are here. Any advice you guys want to share in regards to that? Like, which one is the best one that you guys recommend that people should apply to? Like, how should people choose? Hey, should they apply to all, or just what's the best approach, right?
So I'll start. So I think any PA school that you get into, is a blessing in and of itself, because PA school is a very, very challenging thing to get into, especially nowadays with how many applicants these PA schools are taking each and every day. So I know Shehzad, this is a very personal thing for us, because there was a time where he was not struggling to get into PA school, but it was challenging for him to get into PA school, and so finally, by the alhamdulillah, he was able to get into St. John's University, and then he was able to get into the school he's in today. So
Downstate.
Downstate Medical Center. So any PA school that you get into is a great PA school. St. John's, I think personally, should be number one, but I'm just biased.
My number one is Stony Brook. Although it's cheap, it's state, the best school.
Yeah. Stony Brook, your college really depends on your financial situation, right? Stony Brook is a SUNY, right? Your college is a CUNY. Sophie Davis also has a program as well. Downstate, I think Downstate's a SUNY, right?
Yeah, it's a SUNY.
Yeah.
Private.
So downstate, these programs, they're private programs. No, not private. They're state or city programs. So it's going to be
Yeah.
a lot cheaper than if you would go to a Hofstra or a St. John's or a Touro College or an NYIT, right? So, obviously look into your own financial situation and just work as hard as you can,
Okay.
because it'll
I
pay
would,
off.
like Ali, you said, it's very competitive. So apply to all the schools. Whatever you get into, it's great. Once you become a PA, you're a PA and your experience count. It doesn't matter where you went to school. So the cheaper school would be the better school.
All right. And do you guys know anything about, there's a question now from Reham, which is, if anyone has any thoughts on Sophie Davis PA program. Does anyone know anything about that?
Yeah, it's a CUNY. It's a city college in the city. It's associated with City College. It's a great program. It's like York College. I went to York CUNY, and the other one is Sophie Davis. There's only two CUNY PA programs at this time. So it's cheap. It's good. If you get into it, go for it.
So, and then do PAs specialize? I think that's another question that we have. But Osama, you want to quickly go over that? You did cover it, just like in.
So myself, I've been working for cardiologist since I graduated. So that's like my personal specialty. You don't have to have a specialty, but you could. If you have been working in one field, that becomes your specialty. Like over time, you have experience. If you're in surgery, you're in surgery. You cannot do medicine. So I do internal medicine / cardiology for like 14 years, and I'm good at it. But if I wanted to, I can work in ER, surgery, OB/GYN, like whatever is there.
All right, that's good to know. Since we were on the topic on the application process, right? Usually in any field that you kind of go into, right, that becomes like more of a daunting and it's like a overwhelming process, right? And you kind of mentioned that as well. So, any high level tips that you guys can share on managing the process, right? Shahzad, you went through it recently, so maybe you want to take a first stab at it, and then feel free for others to add as well.
Sure. So yeah, it's a very nerve-wracking experience, especially when you're once you have applied to the schools and now you're like waiting and you're not getting a response. I think it's very important to stay positive, keep a positive mindset, and just pray that, just hope for the best, that Allah has the best plan for you. Whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And the thing about PA program is it's very competitive. So if say you don't get in the first time, don't like quit. There's still ways of improving your application. So like for me, to be honest, for me, I was actually trying to become an EMT or medical scribe to gain more patient care experience hours, because that's a very big factor in getting accepted to PA schools.
Okay.
So that was big. And also, once you do get an interview, it's important to like Ali helped me just get in the sense of like what type of questions will be asked, and like just preparing for the interview in general. Like my first interview at St. John's, like I was very nervous, but I think it's very important to practice your communication skills and practice answering questions out loud with a family member, or even recording yourselves talking and just answering questions, just so you feel more comfortable.
So as far as like any kind of what do they look for in the interview process, or even like just to get the interview, as well as the GPA being a big factor, your score, if you can touch on that, and then what are some of the things that you have heard that in the interview process that they look for as well before accepting you into the program?
Sure. So many things go into the application process. GPA alone doesn't like say you have a 4.0 GPA, and like even if people with 4.0 GPAs get denied, and a person with like say 3.3 GPA gets accepted. And the reason behind it is because they look at various factors. They look at your patient care hours. They look at whether you did community service. They look at whether you had any leadership positions in like undergrad and stuff like that. And another important thing is your personal statement. A personal statement is basically you write like a one-page essay on why you want to be a PA, and you want to write a specific and unique paper that puts you aside from everybody else, that makes you unique. And like basically it catches the viewers attention, and like your application that way stands out. So the main thing is meeting the requirements and being well-rounded. That's the key, I would say, into getting into PA school.
All right. Speaking of that, right, there is a question out there from another person, which is why you want to be a PA. Like, how do you answer some specific questions, right, that they ask you? Why you want to be a PA and not MD? Is it your backup plan? And also, if you can touch upon, are they more asking you personality questions, like how behavioral questions, or is it more like technical questions? If you can touch on that, I think that will also, after answering this question.
Like, do you mean like during the interview process?
Yeah, during the interview process. Yep. What are the
So,
questions like? Yeah, and then answering this question first, if you can.
Oh, sure. So we'll answer this one first. So why a PA and not MD? So the main thing for me was the time. So 2 years compared to 7 years, right? And also lateral mobility. So as PAs, once we take the PANCE exam, which is a certification exam, and we become a physician assistant certified, you can work in any specialty: cardiology, pediatrician, geriatrics, anything. And the limitation on like a doctor is that once you become a doctor and say you're working in primary care, that's the only place you're working at, and you cannot like switch to like a different place unless you get a residency again. So that was big. And also the loans was a key. Also, everyone's financial situation is different. Some may want to take on like $400,000 in loans. I wasn't comfortable with that. So that's
Go ahead.
good.
Now, I was gonna say, it sounds more like PA are all-rounder in cricket, if you were to compare, right? And then
Yeah,
a
man.
doctor is more like just a cricketer or just a baller, right?
I didn't know
Exactly.
you were such a big fan of cricket, man.
They call me
We have a
Mohammed
question
I
about
have to
Mr.
put it
Cricket
out
team.
there, you know.
Come on, Chef,
I know
really.
Osama is a very big cricket fan here.
Oh yeah, bro, you got that.
I think we also covered this question on how vast is the pay scale between PA and MD. That's also another question out there. If you can just cover that as well.
Yeah, so I think I touched up upon that. So as a new PA starting right straight out of school, $110,000 is the starting salary as of
That's in a
2020
hospital. In a hospital.
in a hospital. In a hospital in 2021, and with an MD, right? Well, that's the thing, right? That's your starting salary, right? Brother Osama, he probably knows.
I'll shed some light on it. So MD is not just MD. MD could be a family physician. MD could be internal medicine. MD could be a cardiologist. MD could be emergency medicine. MD could be anyone. So when you say MD, you have to be specific. What kind of MD? If you're talking about just like a general practitioner, a hospitalist, they probably make like between $200,000 and $250,000 a year. Plus, they probably get some bonuses depending on where they work. As a PA, you work 3 days in a hospital, you make 120 something. You work another job, you could pull to 200K easily, depending on how much you want to do. So money is not a problem. Money is good.
Okay. So that's the pay scale aspect of things, right? It sounds more like, since we were on the topic of school, right? How do you make your school experience also rewarding, right? I always say college is one of those times where, you'll have the best time of your career, right? You can enjoy. Is it like a lot of studying, or can you have fun too? How can you make your PA school a more fun experience in college? Shazad, you want to start that, and then Ali, maybe you can
Sure.
shed light on it.
Do you mean like in the PA program itself?
Yeah. Overall,
Sure.
outside of just, it doesn't have to be, all studying related, right? Because it sounds like
No,
hey,
I got it.
college is supposed to be fun as well, right? It's supposed to be hot. So if you can shed light on that, that'll be great.
Sure. So in undergrad, it's very important to be within like the MSA. Well, that was big for me, gaining knowledge about the dean while also doing my studying. So that was big. And also, so that was just colleges. In college, I think it's very important to join the MSA for anybody that's listening, because being around like brothers and sisters of within the dean, like you're gonna get a lot of connections. First of all, they can guide you, like the older, like the seniors, they can guide you with like courses that you might have to take, and et cetera, et cetera. But in PA program itself, it's very rigorous. There's a lot of studying, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You have to study a lot, but the key thing is do spend time with your family. Make time like on the weekend. Treat your PA program like a 9-to-5 job, and then a couple of studying hours afterwards. But I do still, for given a perspective on things, I do get to go to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week, and I do get to spend at least one day, like say a weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. I take one day off and I spend that with the family. No studying, no nothing, and that's very important. If you just keep on studying, you're gonna burn out and you're not gonna retain any information. It's very important to do things that refresh your mind often, so that way you can have a beautiful experience just learning and not just
I think you touched on a very good point as well, like throughout the time, right? Like it's like who you surround yourself with too. Like if you surround yourself with people who are already ahead of you, who went through that experience,
Exactly.
right? Things are changing. If you speak to them, those are the same guys that are, can guide you, right? And you can learn from their mistakes. And that's some of the things that I did in my own field. But it's good to hear that is somewhat of a similar synergy that can be applied or into other fields as well, right? Ali, Osama, do you guys want to add anything? Something cool that you did in college? Anything that can entertain others, right?
Yeah, no, it's a really great question. I'm not gonna let Osama answer because he graduated 100 years ago, but I'm just joking. So for me personally, during my undergraduate career, I was part of the MSA, I was part of the PA program. But the thing is, guys, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the classroom with your your classmates, and your classmates. You're going to be spending a good amount of time with them, and it's good to basically get to know everyone in your class and make it a more family-like experience, because this career path is not an easy career path. And if you don't surround yourself with people who are like-minded individuals, who want to succeed, who want the best for themselves but also the best for you, that's also very important. People that have like-minded qualities, that care for the deen, they care about Islam, they also care about having a good career as a PA student, right? And then inshallah having a good career as a PA. For those in college and in high school, right, there's a bunch of schools that have pre-PA societies, right? I did an interview for this new society that St. John's University students came up with, who are in their undergraduate career right now. It's called the Pre-PA Society. So, getting in touch with that, make sure that you take that step forward, and you basically take an initiative inside your college career that, hey, I want to not only succeed as a PA student and as a PA, but also I want to have a well-rounded college career. And that also involves having fun with your colleagues. Give me 1 second, guys.
All right, so I'll just carry on from here. So I had a lot of fun, man. I don't know what these guys are talking about. I went to college in 2000. I was in Hunter for 4 years, undecided. I mean, my first year was undecided, but I did my the prereqs from Hunter, and it was the best time I had. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Friends at Baruch, so we used to go back and forth, Baruch and Hunter. So the MSA, and it was great. And then the PA school gets real. When I say it's real, it's like 1 year of that. The first year, the didactic year. I can never say that. That's you have to give your 110%. If you make through that first year, the second year is a lot of fun. It's clinical rotation. You go to the hospitals, clinics, you see patient. The first year is the tough one, but once you make through that, you will be good.
Inshallah.
You know what I really like about the PA field, right? And I often say that to Ali Ali and we meet often, right? He's like, he only works like 3 days a week. You have 4 days to yourself, man. That's the
He's
beauty,
chilling,
like,
man.
yeah. I mean, in the business field, you're not gonna get that. In the accounting field, you're working not 3 days, you're getting paid. You're gonna have to work at times, even like 7 days during busy season, right? And part of owning your own business. So like, being in the PA field, like working 3 days, like you have 4 days to yourself. Like you can do whatever you're passionate about, and you want to be something, you can just do it, right? So there's a lot of time in your hand as well, and the salary is like amazing too. So it's like you can have a decent lifestyle and have a work-life balance as well. That's really important. So it's good to hear.
That's just in the hospital. Just want to correct that. That's just when you work for a hospital, 12-hour shift. If you work in a clinic, it's usually 5 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually 9 to 5, right? I mean, yeah, I would say definitely if you work in an outpatient setting and you have your 9 to 5, and obviously I choose to work in the hospital just because I like working 3 days a week. It gives me the flexibility to spend time with my family, spend time with my siblings, with my mom. So you can definitely make the most of your career, and basically you have so much flexibility with your time, because if you especially work in a hospital, you're working 3 days a week, and then you can spend whatever you want with the extra time that you have on those 4 days. So just like Osama Bhai mentioned, you can get your money up, right? Make as much as 200K a year, just to make sure the IRS doesn't catch you.
They caught me in 2015 because they're like, how do you make so much money? But anyhow, I don't want to brag about myself, but I just want to put it out there. I'm 36. Alhamdulillah, I own 2 houses, as a PA. And I know physicians by my age, they're getting started, and they have a lot of loan to pay off. So it plays a big role. And then I enjoyed my life. I became a PA when I was 22 or 21. I can't remember. And I lived a good life. And not that I'm old, but a lot of people in medical school, my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, he just finishing up his residency. He's 30. He has 2 kids. It was really difficult for him. Really difficult for him. I'd never seen him like stepping out. Like he's always studying. I'm not discouraging. Medical school is great. Wherever we need physicians. So if you want to be a doctor, you're determined, great. But there's a big, difference,
commitment.
Like how your school life is, and what you do afterwards. As a physician, you have a lot of responsibility. Like malpractice. Like if something happens to you, guess what? Who's getting sued? I mean, we get sued too, but we have an attending physician, so they have to make sure everything is correct. But I mean, it doesn't happen like everything is smooth, but we have that extra layer of protection. When we come home, we can sleep peacefully at night. I talk to my attending physician; they can't sleep. Like they text me, "Hey, Mohammed, did you do this?" I'm like, "I did it. Relax. I can go to sleep." So they always have that in back of their
anxiety.
Head. We just go home and we knocked out.
And not only that, one of the things that you mentioned, Osama, right? That one thing I also see that you are, mashallah, you have established yourself good financially, but not only that, you're very involved in the community. You're able to balance your life, and you also have 2 kids, mashallah, right? And then you're able to give them time. That's what it is. Ideally, at the end of the day, you live to not to work, but you live to also have fun as well, right? That's the purpose.
Right.
So it's not the other way around all the time, right? So there's that aspect that you see. I see that in you, right? So that's a positive thing. Anything else you guys want to?
I just wanted to add, like while I was going through school, and like while I was still deciding between PA and MD, I had a couple of like older friends that were doing medical school, and like every time I would see them, they would be exhausted, and I told them like what I decided to do. I told them, oh, I want to be a PA now. They're like, hey, just do PA. It's good. Even doctors, like my neighbor, she's a doctor. She told me, oh, it's great. PA is good. Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear, man. I guess PA is the way to go, man.
PA is the way to go, and
if
Junaid,
I was to,
number
if I
Junaid,
was to
one.
did we
go,
convince you to change your profession yet or no?
nah, man, I like my business field, but if I was really good in science, I always say to myself, right, hey, I wish I paid attention in my science courses because that's something that you need, right? I never did that in high school. I feel like if I had to pay attention and consider one of the careers, PA and pharmacy will be two careers that I would like to consider. What's is also a rewarding experience as well, right? You're kind of like I really admire Osama a lot, mashallah, because every time sometimes I have something to discuss with him. Hey, this happened. He gives me an advice, right? It's like even outside of that, he doesn't need to do it. He's not getting paid to do something at times, but he's out there just kind of like sharing his medical experience with others in the community. And not only does he do that with me, but he also does it with others. Mashallah, that's a good thing.
Junaid,
Go ahead.
I do want to say that, mashallah, whatever you guys are doing, it's great. When I was in school, like there was no guidance. Like I was by myself. I had no clue what to do, where to go. So viewers who are watching, please take advantage of this. This is great. We are here. If anyone needs help, please reach out to any of us.
And
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that being a PA, it's a very humbling career because you are able to see people, and especially me working in an inpatient setting or a hospital setting, I'm able to see patients who they have their identity stripped from them. When you see someone in a hospital bed, there's a sense of vulnerability attached to that, right? And me being a PA, being sort of like the bridge between the doctor and the patient, right? You get so involved with patient care, and you really do build a connection with your patients, right? And for me personally, as a Muslim, whenever I do practice medicine, right, it's my form of ibadah, right? It's my form of praising Allah and being grateful for my health, my family. As long as you're on the other side of that bed, it's a great day, right? As long as you're able to go home to your family, it's a great day. So alhamdulillah, it's a very humbling process, and I love my career. I love what I do, and I would highly recommend anybody that is interested. We'll drop our emails really soon, but if anyone's interested, please do reach out to me.
All right. I think one of the things that we're also going to put on the screen is I'm going to put like the top 10 careers as of 2020. So you can see that. It's going to
Let's
show
see
up.
it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
All
Oh
right.
my God!
Oh
There it
man.
is.
PA is number one.
USA. USA.
Nurse practitioner. I see all the medical fields are on the top 10, man. What's up with that, right?
Bro,
Healthcare never
is that
goes
a
out of
question?
business.
What just happened? Did you forget COVID? We were the only people working,
Yeah, that's true, man. You guys were like the real superheroes, right? They show you the Superman and the Batman. There should be like a new movie should be made on the medical
wearing the white
professional
coat.
fields, right?
I have a like a Superman shirt. It says PA on it. It's working like that.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, for the audience, right? Maybe we have only like 5 to 6 minutes left. Maybe just one piece of advice, starting from Shehzad, and then Ali, and then Osama. If you can share that one piece of advice that you can share with the audience, and then we can wrap it up.
Sure. So I'm going to share this piece of advice. This was actually given to me by brother Ali Imran, and like this, I stick by it day to day, every day. And the advice is this: take it a step at a time, and that's how you should take on like any task that you're doing. Do what you can right now, and don't worry about the future and whatnot. That's going to happen, but just what you can control, do control. And what's going to come later, put that to the side and just keep focusing on what's ahead of you and what you can control. Things that we cannot control, we cannot control. And just, make lots of dua and stuff like that. And that's obviously, it's going to help, inshallah.
So the
step at a
piece of
time.
advice is take it one step at a time, guys. That's the
take it a
advice
step at a time.
Shehzad. All right,
My
Ali.
brother Ali though.
Ali,
Yeah,
you're go.
thank you so much, Shahzada. I'm humbled, and I appreciate you saying that. You know, I would say that obviously just to echo off what I said to Shahzad, I'm I'm gonna give him credit though, but I would say that you focus on having a good college career, and what that means is that make sure that you're studious, right, but also have the balance as well. It's very important. We get so involved in our studies, and when we have to, right, but it's also important that you have a life outside, or somewhat of a life outside of school, um, just because you want to make sure that we're human, right? And as humans, we want to make sure that we are socially connected with others, right? And so my piece of advice would be stay connected to others when you are at your lowest points and your highest points.
So the piece of advice is stay connected to others, connected with others, right? That's what it is. So, all right, you can take that for with everything, right? All right, Osama, it's your go, man.
All I'm gonna say is don't lose hope. I know many students, they were not able to get into the program, and they lost hope. Some of them changed profession, or if you are unable to get into school, any program, whatever you want to do, just keep trying. If you not this year, maybe next year, give it a shot. Give you 100%. So do not lose hope.
I feel like Osama, I'm in the 2008 campaign of Obama when Obama kept saying "hope for Obama" or something like that.
Hope for Osama, yeah, man.
Hope for
Yeah.
Obama.
Vote for
No, that was his
Osama.
line. That was his campaign line that he used to kind of win his votes, right? Hope. It was the line that he used, right? The word. Don't lose hope. Pursue for your
MashaAllah.
career. That's very great. And guys, just want to say thank you. Muslim Youth Mentors want to thank you for coming here. Masjid Hamza wants to thank you as well. Thank you for taking the time. And you guys can reach out to us, Muslim Youth Mentors at gmail.com, or even at Masjid Hamza. And one of the things, maybe you guys can also provide your email address as a comment on Facebook as well, so that other people can benefit and reach out to you guys. Right? You guys are very friendly people. I know both of you guys. I haven't met Shahzad in person, but Shahzad seems like a person who wants to help out as well. So guys, reach out to them, and the best thing is just approach them, and they'll be happy to guide you. That's why they're here. So I guess
Absolutely.
Well, we're right, close to the hour. We have 1 minute left, so we can
Can I say one thing, Junaid bhai?
Yeah, go ahead. Ali.
So for everybody that's still watching, right? Thank you so much for watching. But I would just say that remember this, whenever you're in your times of need, and it's that Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear, right? So in any situation that you're in, whether that's in PA school, wherever it is, right? Allah has the best written for you, and put your faith and trust in Allah, and everything will come to fruition, inshallah.
Yeah, and there's the the two ayahs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Al-Inshirah, right? فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. So rarely with every hardship there's ease. Rarely with every hardship there's ease. That concept can be applied in almost every kind of journey as well, career journey, and that was kind of like my motivation. And it does come with difficulty. Anything you want to win, right? And then with hardship, there's always a moment where it comes where things become easier, right? So yeah, I'd like to end it with that as well. So jazakallah khair, everyone, and thank you for your time.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Okay.
Take care, guys.